What's up, y'all? We got another episode of the classic roster Ultimate Legends, and this people is Stevie franchise. Steve Francis. It was actually kind of hard to make him. I think I did okay. I don't know about great, but I think I did okay. Steve Francis was one of the most athletic point guards you'll ever see. Just overall period. 6'3", 195. I took his second year in the season, second year in the league, which is actually he didn't make the All-Star game that year. But statistically, I thought he was the most balanced that year. Shot really high percentage from three-point range, about just under 40%. He averaged 19.9, so just under 20, 6.9 rebounds, and 6.5 assists, 1.8 steals. So that was the second highest rebounding total we ever had. The second highest, third highest assist total, tied for the highest in steals. It was the best he shot from the field, and it was the best he shot from three-point range in his career, and right up there in the same area, the highest he ever shot from the free throw line. So really solid season for Stevie franchise. A lot of people know or see him, pictures now, and it kind of like got the joke going around about how bad his life is doing. But that always blows me, like I do joking and whatever. I joke about, a render on a guy render or something like that in a game, but somebody may or may not have like a real problem. I don't know, man. I just don't find the humor in that. This is crazy to me. People like, man, if just think about if what you was saying was actually true, would that really be funny? It's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is Stevie franchise. Let's take a look at the signature. I thought this was pretty good. I may actually change this because I don't want the jump shot to take too long to get off. But in looking at, just looking back at, video and highlights, I thought that the little gather that he did there with the jump shot, I thought that was pretty cool or pretty accurate. So we went with that. But, you ain't going to see nothing for sure until you get to the dunking, because Steve Francis had some hops. Now, he actually turned the ball over way too much, though. So that was one of the things that, kind of kept the rating down. But don't think the rating is too low, because it's, as you might have already seen, the rating is pretty good. I made sure that I did everything with the revamped whole, idea that I said I was doing in regards to the point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards. But yeah, I don't know how many people remember Steve Francis' exhibition in the dunk contest, but it was pretty impressive. So, we had to hook him up. He got an 87, got 24 badges, 9 of them gold. Acrobat, shot creator, volume shooter, killer crossover, the pet move size up, Lob City finisher, one-man fast break, the Sprite posterizer, the transition finisher. So he did, done pretty well. And here are the attributes. There you go. Somebody asked me a question about contracts in Ask FP. Thought it was a really good question. I had to really think about it because there's a few things with this roster I haven't quite thought about yet, and some of them are coming up as I'm moving through. But I decided I'm going to leave the contracts as they are, which most of the creative players, they're like 1 year, $528,000. So, which essentially means that if you play a franchise, everybody's going to be a free agent at the end of that first season. A lot of people. Some of the legends that are already on the roster, like the Michael Jordans and them, they already got like huge, crazy contracts. Some of them like 3 years, 60, 50 million or whatever. So those guys will still be on your team. But if you got your salary cap on, you're going to have some really crazy stuff going on, which I think is actually kind of fun, where, people like Steve Francis are going to be a free agent. People like Wilt Chamberlain are going to be a free agent. That'll be kind of cool. So, yeah, that's what that'll be. So I decided I'll go ahead and leave that. On top of that, just going in and, changing the contracts is not a simple thing on here. You have to, it takes a long time to do it, So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let that be a part of the creativity aspect. So that's that. This was Steve Francis. Let's take a look at the next guy. This, people, is Kenny Anderson. In my opinion, I would say that he is probably one of the best pure dribblers in just period, just overall period. I mean, he had ridiculous handles. Now, I think I did a pretty good job on the face. Maybe could have made his head a little skinnier, but it's kind of hard because they kind of just make you have the neck kind of just thick like that, which is crazy. But I took the 23-year-old Kenny Anderson, 93-94 season, 18.8 points a game, 9.6 assists, 3.9 rebounds, 82% free throw shooter, shot 42% from the field, only 30% from three-point range. The shooting is really his, that's really the only thing he didn't really have. I mean, he's obviously a small point guard. It's only 6 feet, 168 pounds. But the shooting is the part of his game that you wish he would have had a little bit better shooting. It would have been a really, really, I would say, one of the all-time greats if he had better shooting. But I hooked him up on these dribble moves. I had to. That crossover is sickening. And the behind the back is nice. The spin move is nice. Oh, and we got the hezzy. And we got this. We got the mix-up. Oh. Gave him Rondo's layups. Just this little rim grazer dunk. There you go. So I was happy, too, like I said, pretty much with the render. The ratings, getting an 84. You'll see the shooting stuff is kind of low. He's also the answer to the hint from the last episode. See, the shooting stuff is pretty low, but made up for it with his ball control and the speed. YouTube, Kenny Anderson at Georgia Tech. Some of the highlights, if you can find it. I'm telling you, off the dribble, Kenny Anderson was a banana cake. I mean, he was crazy with it. Gave him 19 badges, 10 gold. Look at this. Acrobat, behind the back pro, dimer, flashy passer, killer crossover, lob city passer, pet move sizer, pick and roll maestro, spin kingpin, step back, freeze. Yeah. I feel good about that. And I actually feel good about the render so far. Let's keep it going. Let's go look at this last dude. Last but not least, we got Kelly Tripucka. Some of y'all might not know who Kelly Tripucka is, but Kelly Tripucka could really, really score in the 80s, playing for the Detroit Pistons, Utah Jazz, and the Charlotte Hornets, who, the original Charlotte Hornets, who are now the New Orleans Pelicans. So I took the second year of his career, which he was 23 years old. He averaged 26.5 points a game for the Detroit Pistons. I couldn't get his hair exactly right because they don't have like the big puffy, 80s hair like, he had. So we had to go with the mullet. I don't think it came out too bad. But yeah, he averaged 26.5 points a game. Shot 49% from the field, 4.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.2 steals, 84% from the free throw line, 38% from three-point range. He could just flat score. Just nice intermediate game, a little quicker than you might expect. He could really, really score. So I had to hook him up. Had to put him out here because, he's one of them guys a lot of people may not really realize or even think about. But Tripucka could score for real. Went to Notre Dame and just came in. But he only made 2 All-Star games. He actually didn't even make the All-Star game in the season that I took. But statistically, it was still his best year. So I went ahead and put him in there. He I don't know. I mean, I think I came as close to him as I could come, but he looks strange. He looks like like some kind of flasher or something here on what. But I did the best I could. So just looking nothing real special here with his little signature moves. Not like the craziest athlete ever, but like I said, skill wise, he could score. So it's time to look at these ratings. Got an 83 overall. 23 years old. We hooked him up. We, hooked him up pretty good. And since I've actually redone the rosters, not all of these guys are going to actually stick on the 15-man roster for the team that I have them associated with. So some of them are going to go into the free agent pool. So that's when, you'll get a chance to pick from them or whatever if you want to in your fantasy draft. But with an 83 overall, Tripucka is currently on the Pistons team. I'll see as I keep going through here if he ends up staying. I don't even know how many more Pistons, or if I even have any more Pistons left to do. I got to check. But, he got 8 badges, 1 goal, and got a goal for dead eye, knocking down contested shots at a higher percentage than most. This is Kelly Tripucka, and that's the end of this particular episode, but it's time for the hint. This guy was a second-round pick. He's a Milwaukee Buck great. Some of y'all already got it. Second-round pick, Milwaukee Buck great. He actually averaged over 20 points a game 6 years in a row, but he only made 1 All-Star game. Only made it to 1 All-Star game. So that's the hint. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to do my best to put out a second video tonight, if I can. If I can't, it'll be one around between 10 and noon tomorrow, with a objective of having maybe 2 or maybe even 3 tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to make it though. But I appreciate y'all watching. Peace and God bless.